Okay guys, welcome to ATP Fitness first podcast. So myself Ian and I'm here with my partner Cian, and first of all we didn't think we'd be doing any of this at all, so it is a bit mental and we're definitely a bit nervous, but I suppose the reason we wanted to do this podcast is we want to spread a message. We have a mission and a goal that we're trying to achieve. It's why we created ATP Fitness. So a little bit of background to myself and Cian. We opened ATP in Douglas in Donnybrook 3 years ago. It was just myself and Cian. Now we've 6 full-time trainers going on there, but we're trying to spread a message, trying to help people to live healthier and live happier. We have a way of doing things, and we think education is the number one thing that's going to really create change. So that's why we've come on this podcast, to really help you to just maybe listen to this. You're thinking, oh, I didn't know that, or something hits home with you, and you kind of question things, and it just really helps you get you on a path and keeps you less confused. So we're going to get started, and I suppose first of all, why should you listen to us? For someone people don't know us, maybe you're thinking, who are we to be talking? But from my own personal point of view, I've trained thousands of clients at this stage, and I've seen people just yo-yo dieting, and I've seen it kind of affect their physical health, but also their mental health. And we're hoping that, by really getting through some of the myths and explaining things to you on a simple level, that you'll understand kind of what you need to do if you do want to kind of make real change. And just from a personal point of view, look, I've been through on a very personal level. I've seen someone really close to me, has been massively affected by poor physical and poor mental health, which led to her death. And that for me alone is a massive driving force as to why I kind of want to help people prevent getting there, and also people who are getting close to there, to really kind of help them just live longer and live better. So that's why I feel you should listen to me. Cian, why do you think they should listen to you?
Yeah, so a bit of background on myself. I certainly wasn't always fit and healthy. I used to be very overweight myself. At my heaviest, I was 19 stone. The heaviest I ever saw myself on the weighing scales was 119 kilos. So I was a big boy at one stage. But when I did decide to make a change and start going down the route of trying to live a healthier life and lose the weight, shift the pounds, just through educating myself, through kind of making lots of mistakes, making lots of errors along the way, eventually lost 6 stone, and I've kind of been able to maintain that weight loss to kind of get myself into a place now where I have balance in my life. I'm both healthy and happy. I'm able to enjoy my life and maintain the weight loss. But it took a long time to get there. That was about 10 years ago when I was at my heaviest. Through losing weight, through kind of learning about exercise and getting into training, I began to enjoy it so much that I decided that I wanted to help others. So my big passion now, and my biggest goal in life is helping others to achieve some of the things that I've maybe managed to be able to do when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to being a healthier person. So it's just really getting the message out there of how to go about being healthier without kind of a lot of the confusion that's out there, and misinformation. So hopefully dispelling some of the myths along the way.
Yeah, so just to touch on we talked about it before, obviously, and loads of times before, but for people who don't know, what was the set off point for you where you went, fuck it, this is something I need to do something about here, because everyone has a point where they're I better do something, I better go join a gym. What was your point that you went I need to take some real action, and then actually did?
Yeah, so I suppose there was kind of a few years in my life where I was in my early 20s, and I enjoyed going drink with the lads, enjoyed eating a lot of food, and I kind of always kind of had maybe an idea that I should lose weight. Probably I'm a bit too big and a bit too heavy. This probably isn't great for my health. But there was a point where my wife, my now wife, pointed this out to me recently, where we were in a shop, and there was a BMI chart on the wall, and I kind of looked at it, and from the BMI chart, I looked at my height, I looked at my weight, which was 19 stone, and from that it classified me as morbidly obese, which was kind of a bit of a shock to me. Like, you know, I never saw myself as a morbidly obese person.
Just for those who are listening that might not know, because people actually don't know, like, you know, is like your BMI is, you know, your body mass index. That literally just measures your weight and your height.
Yeah.
But it is just one factor. But I think we definitely come around full circle to realize it is an important factor for majority population.
Yeah.
So, like, you know,
there's a reason doctors use it, like, you know, when assessing general public and general population.
Yeah. So, like, you know, people who don't understand the BMI side of things, you know, like, there's certain numbers there. It is just the weight and the height thing. It's different when it comes to muscle mass, but for people who don't have massive muscle mass, like, you know, if your BMI is showing that you're above 30, saying obese, but if you're above 35, you're class 2 obese, even if you're higher, if you're in your 40s, then you're morbidly obese. And again, for those who might understand, morbidly means your weight is now a risk to your life.
Yeah,
that's scary.
So, like, for those of you know, if you're classed as obese or even morbidly obese, like, some of the risks you're running into, which I had no idea of at the time, and it was a big turning point for me when I went off and kind of, after seeing that chart, educated myself on, like, some of the risks involved. You're looking at, like, you know, greater chance of type 2 diabetes, higher blood pressure, higher risk of heart disease, kidney disease, multiple different types of cancer, stroke. So the list goes on and on and on. So it was when I saw that, it was a big turning point for me, and it was kind of a cop on moment where I was like, okay, I need to do something about this.
And did you find then that, like, what was the first step you took for it? You know, when did you go, like, oh yeah, I need to do something about it, but, you know, what did you actually do? What was your first step?
Yeah, so again, like, you know, I made a lot of mistakes, but, like, the first few times I went to lose weight, I would have yo-yoed around the place with it. So I did things like, you know, like, the only way I thought I knew how to lose weight at the time was, like, you know, go running. So I do, like, a lot of running, but, like, then I realized the running was making me hungry. So, you know, I didn't understand energy balance back then. So even though, like, I'd be going out running and doing cardio, trying to shift the pounds, shift the weight, I'd end up, like, over a period of time gaining weight, because the running was just making me hungrier than what I had been before. And, like, back then, like, I didn't have muscle mass. It was just, like, you know, I was big overweight guy. So it was kind of a lot of trial and error, and there's a few years where there's a lot of frustration there, where I'd, like, you know, I'd lose a bit of weight, then I put it back on again. So I can really kind of empathize with a lot of people out there who, like, are kind of misguided or misled when it comes to weight loss and how to lose weight, because I was there. I made all those mistakes. I was there, did it, but I suppose learned from it, and it was that slow process of learning from those mistakes that I eventually managed, you know, how to kind of lose weight in a sustainable manner. And I'd be a big advocate of losing weight in a more sustainable way, as opposed to this kind of, like, quick fix.
Let's talk about that, though. You know, I think from both of us, we know each other well enough at this stage. Like, you know, we've been in the industry. We know that it's very hard to get away from this quick fix idea. Right? The confusion is there, and, like, we understand why you're confused. We know there's marketing there, but, like, the mass confusion comes from you doing something blindly without knowing, like, or being coached correctly, and then you see a massive results, you see a massive weight loss, and then you can't sustain that. You go back to your old habits, and then your weight comes back on. But you don't blame the diet you might have tried, or you don't blame what you tried. You blame yourself. You're like,
yeah, absolutely.
I failed on this, like, and then so when you think, I have a wedding coming up, or I have Christmas coming up again, I better go back on that diet that worked for me before.
Failing to realize it didn't actually work for you, because, you know, you're back to where you are.
And that's, I think we see it a lot. We see a lot of people come to us, you know, and they've often, like, we won't get too much into it, but that low carb diet, you know.
Yeah.
A big thing is, like, if you understand the principle is there, okay, the fundamental principle is that, like, we know at this stage, you know, you have to be in an energy deficit, you have to be eating a little bit less than your body needs to really lose fat. But the way you do it doesn't necessarily matter if it's successful for you. So that's why we see a lot of people, like, and I've often bashed, you know, like, weight loss centers, that kind of thing, you know, keto diet, all this kind of stuff. So you might hear me bashing those, but with bashing them, it's like, if it genuinely works for you, if you're going on this plan, if you're joining this plan, and you're losing weight and you're getting healthier and you're getting fitter, but, like, you understand the main principle is that, you know, you're in an energy deficit, you're eating less, that like you can sustain this diet or food plan. Like, you know, if that's for you, then do that. But if it's not, if it's torture, if it's hell, you're going to do it for 6 or 8 weeks. You're going to come off it and you're going to rebound again.
And that leads to a lot of confusion. You know, understandably, like people are being misguided, or not even misguided, but there might be information being withheld from them when they enter into one of these fatty diets or quick fixes. So they're not being told the full story. So they might be losing weight there and then, but not being told why they're losing it. So then when they put it back on again, unfortunately, they feel like a failure.
Like it's an unbelievable business model, because you're going to come straight back to this thing that worked for you before. You know, because you're not being told that you're doing something that's completely unsustainable. You're changing all your nutritional habits. You know, you're going on this strict chicken and broccoli kind of diet plan, and you're not realizing that this isn't life, this isn't real life. So real life is like being able to adapt and change the things. I think something that we harp on about all the time is balance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But like, talking about balance though, is that you have to get to a place, this balanced place first, before you can have balance, in my opinion.
If you've been living on one side of balance, or your life has been unbalanced for a long period of time, then obviously there's going to have to be a shift in the opposite direction.
I think people forget that though, you know, like, as in, like, if you're putting on weight, and I question this all the time, I often say it to you, is that, like, so if you're putting on weight and the weight's creeping up, and the clothes are getting tighter, and, you know, getting up the stairs gets harder, all these signs are happening. You know, everyone has a different point where it becomes something to do, like you said, you hit that point with your BMI, but everyone comes to a point where I better do something about this. But like, you've had that imbalance, you've been over consuming and not moving enough, you know, for a long period of time, that now you've excess body fat. So like, to get back to where you want to be, where you still want to have your nights out at the weekend and stuff, of course you have to sacrifice and have an imbalance the other side. You have to put off the drinking and the eating out, you know, to a certain extent. You can't just expect to be, I'll diet Monday to Friday, and then, you know, my balance is, because you have to have life. You know, decide what you want is the key. Like,
I think a lot of it is, you know, we now live in a world of instant gratification. So, like, you know, pretty much anything that you want in life you can have right now. One of the only things that I know of anyway that, like, you can't have right now is fat loss.
Sustainable fat loss, I suppose.
Sustainable fat loss, yeah. So I think people find it very hard to come to terms with that, and you know, balance is, you know, living in the moment versus like looking ahead and like looking at what you want to achieve.
And I think like that what you want to achieve thing is something that we discuss. You know, like when I say it to people, I say it to clients, what's your balanced place? And I think it's very hard for people to. Everybody's completely different. I think we understand now it's an individualized thing, okay, and whatever about being overweight and obese is super complex, which we know, and it's because it's so individual. So everyone's different, but like, if you can figure out what's your balanced place, your happy places. So let's talk about the weight. We know it's not everything, but like, you know, it is a big thing for people. So I know myself personally, you know, I have a certain weight that I'm like, okay, I'm happy enough here. If I want to
bounce between a few kilos,
give yourself a few kilos either way. So like, if you get to here, like, okay, I'm happy enough with this weight. Yes, I could be leaner, but being leaner means sacrificing, you know, meals out or having a night out with the lads or whatever. You know, it means sacrificing that. So if I want to get leaner for a holiday, then I will do that. But also, if I have 2 or 3 weeks of, you know, and just having enjoying myself, you know, meals out, drinking, not even thinking, and I go up 2 or 3 kilos, I have that kind of, I call it a 10-pound swing. Like, if I'm at that weight, I'm like, oh, I need to keep an eye on things here now because I'm creeping up. But if I tidy up my diet again, I'm back to this balance point. And then if I want to get a bit leaner for whatever reason, then I can diet.
Yeah, so you're never more than, like, you know, 4 or 6 weeks away from being in, you know, your ideal shape.
Yeah, but I think like, you know, like, do you have something? Are you something similar to that? Like, you know.
Yeah, like, I think I'm there now, but it's literally taken me kind of 10 years to get there. So, yeah.
So
took me longer to do, like, yeah.
Exactly. You know, so like, I think the balance part is, we get it, and we want people to have balance in your life. Like, it's not about dieting and flat out training 6-7 times a week. It's not about that.
So like, what I'd like to achieve and what I'd like ATP to achieve would be kind of helping people get there, but like a lot faster. Like, maybe doing it without making all the mistakes. Like, mistakes are obviously necessary along the way, but kind of achieving their happy place, where they get to be healthy and happier versions of themselves in the shortest time frame possible.
I think I was watching something and they were talking about, you know, people don't actually necessarily fail on diets. they fail on maintenance, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
It kind of got me thinking, like, you know, so if you think, like, if you diet, no matter what diet you go on, you know, you'll diet and you might lose weight, you might lose half a stone or a stone, but it's when you lose that weight and you can't stay there, you can't keep it off.
Well,
That's
so
technically
they've lost
maintenance.
the weight then in an unsustainable manner. So like if they might have gotten to the weight they want to be, but if they have this big rebound out of it and put the weight back on again, like, you know, the means at which they got there didn't work for them.
And it's looking at that approach. I think it's when something doesn't work. I think it's like I call it the bubble effect. We always talk about it. You know, are you stepping outside the bubble? Are you pulling yourself out of the bubble and looking in for a second and going, right, this hasn't worked. You know, but why hasn't this worked?
I don't think a lot of people do that though, because like next time that big event comes around and they need to lose a bit of weight, they'll just look back at that time they lost half a stone, even though they might have put it all back on again, and they'll think, oh well, it worked for me then, so I'm just going to repeat.
What's quite scary about that is, and I've seen it over and over again, I know you have as well, is that, you know, some people are genuinely okay with just dieting really hard and losing weight for that event, knowing it's going to go back on. But like,
it's very short term.
It is very short term, and you know, who am I to say that's wrong? But at the same time, like, you're dieting for what? To impress your friends, to put a picture on Instagram. You know, your first day of holidays, if you go on no carbs, and you know, for a couple of weeks before your holidays,
boom,
and then you go, I'm on holidays now, I'm going to drink and eat the shit out of it. Water retention happens, weight starts falling back on, so you got your nice picture up on Instagram, you look great for the first day, and I guarantee the rest of the pictures will be kind of filtered, or they'll be some other way because you don't feel your best.
You're going to like spend the rest of your holiday not enjoying yourself.
Yeah, and that's you deciding that I'm going to do something because I want other people to feel good versus I want me to feel good. Like, you know, I think that's
what we'd love to get across to people is think a little bit more like long term, as opposed to like, you know, just looking at the quick fix or the short term outcome. You want to think of like your overall health and well-being for the next 10, 20 plus years of your life.
That's where people are not going though, isn't it? And it's a human mentality of like, you know, and like you need some sort of motivation, you need some sort of event to get you moving and get you going. And you spoke with us yesterday that, you know, what we do with that motivation is so important.
It's huge, yeah. So like, you know, I believe willpower is a limited resource. So if you've like a holiday coming up or a wedding coming up, you're going to be highly motivated at that time. So it's very important to take advantage of that time frame where you have a lot of willpower, where you have a lot of motivation, because like if you can create habits when you have the motivation, like when that motivation goes away or drops off, which it will, you will have created sustainable habits that, you know, you can kind of keep going with. So like a habit is something that you find easy to do. Like if you think about, like, you know, the habits that you do every day, you do them because they're easy. So like, you know, with habits we want to build the ones that will be beneficial to us reaching our goals and get rid of the ones that hold us back.
And it's again coming out of that bubble for a second and looking at something that, right, this habit that I'm doing, this thing that I'm doing is just a habit first of all, and now that I'm doing it, it's not really impacting my life in a positive way, so can I change it? And most of the answer is yes, but you have to first create that awareness.
Something tiny. I mean, if you have like a cup of coffee every day and, you know, 2 chocolate biscuits, can you have a cup of coffee and 1 chocolate biscuit?
Yeah, and that like, I think that's again looking at that long-term thing of, you know, over a long period versus it doesn't matter because it's only 2 biscuits, whatever, but it does over a week, over a year, you know. So looking at that, I think a small example I keep going back to it all the time, and it's really, there's a book I think we both recommend called Atomic Habits.
Fantastic.
Really good book and really practical. I think we definitely took a lot from it. So I think anyone listen to that, if you haven't listened or read that book, it's a really good book. But
for someone who wants to kind of like learn a bit more, maybe about like building habits and creating habits,
it's definitely what we're like. I always go back to like my partner Lisa pointed out something to me that, like, you know, when we moved in and got the house together, that when I brush my teeth, this toothpaste goes all over my lips every single time. It's done for years. And now, you know, I've always just got the towel next to the hand towel and wiped the toothpaste off. Toothpaste all over the hand towel. Done it all my life, you know, never really thought anything of it.
It's weird enough.
There's nothing ever said to me. And Lisa's like, would you not just use the toilet paper to wipe it off and throw it down the... I was like, Oh yeah, and like to this day, still I go for the towel a little bit, and I'm like, oh, let's go, and that's only like a really small, innocuous habit, but like
very calmly,
yes, especially on the tenth time, like, but it is a case of just creating that awareness of the habit, like So look, like even people today could go, what am I doing today? That's like kind of not positively affecting me, like when it comes to weight loss or even just anything at all, your relationships, whatever. It's really important to just see that you actually can change. Anything you're doing, you have the power to change, which is a big thing, like So, like we touched on about healthy and happy, and it's something that I think we always kind of promote. But also, I think every fitness professional says like healthy, happy, fit or stronger, and I get that, like that's what we're trying to achieve. But like, what is health and happiness? Like it's different for absolutely everybody, and I think it's important for us to get that message across. Like we're not saying you have to be a certain way or you should be a certain thing. Everybody's completely different, so like you have to be on an individual level.
Everyone should have their own definition of what healthy and happy is.
I definitely think they should, like what I mean. So like we said, we take a bit of time this week, and like Cian, like what's healthy and happy? What does that mean?
So healthy and happy, I believe the outcome of good health should be a happier life. So if I look back at when I was at my heaviest and classed as like morbidly obese, weighing in like 19 stone. If you ask anyone who knew me back then, I was a very, very happy person.
Yeah.
But like I was oblivious to the health implications of what I was doing to myself. So even though I was very happy, I was very unhealthy. So it was through educating myself, and I suppose taking a step back and deciding to make a change and lose the weight, that I suppose I slowly started becoming healthier. So like it's with education, there kind of comes a choice then. So like you either can be healthy or not. But like I chose to be healthy, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, so that's the balance. Like it's like they will counteract each other, or they will find what ways. Like I suppose mine is definitely a bit long-winded. Like, but I said like being healthy for me is having a number of things, like being physically capable. Like things I think gratefulness is definitely something I've become more aware of. Getting into meditation, all that kind of stuff. Even I want to do it on a small level, but it's definitely helped me. And gratefulness is something I've really come across that has helped me. I try to convince myself is what exactly what I'm doing every day. I have a little mantra I say every single morning. Say 2 or 3 sentences. I'm happy and smart and grateful for what I have, and like I say that all day, and it nearly kind of brainwashes myself, even if I'm not in good mood, to get myself into a better mood. So that for me is like creating that happiness already. But like being physically capable and being grateful for small things is a big one for me. So like being physically capable to move, to be able to train, to be able to go play golf.
I think that's something we've both become massively aware of. Now that we're both in our 30s.
Yeah.
When like we've trained together for a good while now, and if you look at like the way we used to train 5 or 6 years ago, which was absolutely
idiotic.
off the wall.
Idiotic fight the wall,
yeah, like smashing it, like destroying our bodies.
Let's lift as heavy as possible.
Yeah, every day until something.
Nearly crying in the corner after doing leg extension.
Both like in the mentality of let's train in a way that like we can enjoy, but like keep training well into the next 10, 20
yeah,
years.
It's that sustainability. I think it's something I've started using with clients because it's just something I realised myself, and I call it the 70-year-old mentality. And that's where we're not looking. So we're looking at 6 weeks time mentality. But if you take a 70-year-old mentality approach, and apologies to any 70-year-olds, maybe an 80 or 90-year-old mentality, but if you take that approach of like I want to be as healthy as possible. I want to move as much as I can for as long as I can. And by looking at that, you're like, right, can I train the way we trained? Say the way we did train was absolutely insane. You can't maintain that, at all. But same with your nutrition. Can I eat this way for the rest of my life? Again, if you're hard dieting, you're not eating carbs, or even you're doing anything that's really extreme and not your norm, you're not going to maintain that for the 70.
It's something I truly believe, and I say it to all clients. It's like you should be able to wake up every morning and ask yourself the question, can I sustain this long term? Whether it's like with your training or your nutrition or your lifestyle, And if the answer is no, then you got to start asking some questions.
Definitely, I think, like,
some changes.
you know, I look at Cian's mother-in-law, and I think she's absolutely amazing. Climbing mountains, what ages? Well, she's probably she's in her 50s, anyway. But absolutely unbelievable woman. You know, like literally just non-stop. Like, she comes in on a weekend. I'm like, Marie, what mountain did you climb this weekend? Like, that for me is like, you know, as you get older, you know, I think like being able to do these things is a huge thing for me, and that's obviously as we're getting older.
We have a lot of clients now, well into their 60s, and they're all amazing. Like when you look at what they're doing and what they're capable of, like, you know, it's inspirational. It is unreal, like, and it's, you know, like, so like it is really just being grateful for those small things that, like, you know, even playing my niece and nephew at the back garden last week. I'm classed myself as fit and healthy, so like I was messing around with Oisin, and I was playing ball, and I wasn't getting out of breath. But like if you're like, you know, morbidly obese, if you're really overweight, like, that's going to limit those things, probably,
and that's scary.
Don't play with kids. You probably don't enjoy playing with kids.
You don't want to get up off the couch, and, you know. So like, it is just the small things. That is what, for me, what kind of I want to stay healthy and fit for those reasons. You know, having good energy throughout the day. You know, rarely having to see my doctor because of illness. I definitely think, touch wood, like the ATP staff and ourselves, you know, we rarely have sick days.
And it comes down to, you know, everyone looks after themselves.
Yeah, it's not magic that we rarely have sick days. Like, you know, it's because we are looking after ourselves. Yes, there are days where we do get sick. I've gotten the man flu. Gav's gotten the man flu. You know, I don't think you've gotten sick yet.
Yeah.
Well, touch wood. So Cian not yet, but things like that. You know, I think. But then, like, from a mental health point of view as well, you know, it's being able to understand, for me, has come with age. This is a massive part I class as health for me anyway. You know, and happy is being able to understand my emotions, which is something, you know, people kind of, especially lads, might be afraid to talk about. You know, but understanding my emotions and how to deal with when emotion comes on. First of all, recognizing the emotion, knowing what it is, and, you know, then being able to understand that I don't have to react to this emotion. I can take a second. Like, I think there's a book that Cian and Lisa call me the boy, calls the Bible. I still call it the Bible. It's the Chimp Paradox. That's just for me, I think. So some people read it, it's not for them. Definitely hit home for me. Just something that, you know, makes me aware of, like, when I'm about to react.
Those of you who don't know him before, he was the ultimate chimp.
I really was. Still a small bit, but definitely less. But again, that's an emotional thing. Being able to understand, right? I'm angry here. You know, I'm going to react, or else I'm angry here. I'm going to take a few minutes, and I'm going to just see how things. And the reaction that 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later is completely different.
But like, unfortunately, most people don't take that time.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like, an emotion comes over them when they don't realise it, or they don't kind of step outside. And
that's the same for, you know, for whatever, even confrontation. But also, it's the same when it comes to, you think, like, dieting, nutrition. You know, emotion. Or, you know, I'm really upset, so I'm hungry, so I want to go for food. Like, you know, can you take 2 or 3 minutes to just stop?
You're not going to die.
Yeah, and that's something I say to people, like, you know, like hunger hormones set off and stuff, like, they're there to regulate, you know, hunger or whatever, but, you know, you don't have to react to it. If you're a little bit hungry, doesn't mean you have to go and eat. You can wait another 30 minutes, half an hour. No. Anyone who knows me and Cian, there's a point where we'll flip, and it's like, we need food right now. So you don't want to be around us for that. But it's important, again, like, when it comes to nutrition side of things, you know, making sure that you know what you're eating, you know what foods are available, that kind of stuff. But just, I think from a mental health point of view, though, you know, understanding your emotions for me has been a huge one. And, like, happiness is completely individual. And this is something where the challenge always is that I feel people are afraid to say exactly what it is for them. And I talk about this about when it comes to clients and stuff. I've said, Cian, you know, when it comes to weight loss, or it comes to whatever your goal is, people are very hesitant to write down or tell you, this, Ian, this is exactly what I want to achieve. And I mean, being specific, because I think once you say that, it's out in the air, other people know it becomes real, and I mean, there's maybe that fear of, you know, I've said it now, and what if I don't achieve it? I think you said something last day about, you know, when you think of something, and then the next thought is fear.
Yeah. So I listened to this recently where, like, you know, if it's just human nature to, like, you know, when you come up with an idea, and you think, oh, this is a good idea, or this is something to do, the very next thought that enters your head will be fear. And, like, most people unfortunately act on the fear, and, like, suppresses them actually making any change, when, like, it could have been, like, a fantastic idea.
Yes, and even if it's not a fantastic idea, at least you learn from whatever mistakes you make up, like, you know. So, exactly. But I think, like, again, and that's why I say happiness is something that's constantly changing. Number one, you know, if you say, like, so for me, you know, at the moment, it's like, happiness for me is maintaining my good health, having healthy relationships with my close family and friends, being able to walk towards my vision, which, you know, even something like this now for me is a massive step for me, because this is part of my vision, educating people and, you know, really trying to get information across to help people to live healthier. So this for me is a big day as well, you know, which is great. And really help people to live happier lives. And it's also making sure I have time for myself. Like, so for me right now, that's my happiness, okay? That can change. The goalposts can move. And that's the thing. So even if you say this is exactly what I want to achieve, but something happens and you want to cheat, it just doesn't become that important. It's okay to say that was that, but now I want to go here. Because if you say clearly what it is, you can start going to, every decision you make is going to be one step towards that. But if you're not saying clearly what you want to achieve, whether it's, you know, happiness, health, you know, whatever it is, relationships, if you're not saying this is what I want to achieve from this is the end goal. The end goal will always change, but this is the end goal for now. Every step you take will be towards that end goal. So like, it's important to know where you want to go.
Yeah, and asking yourself the why. So I mean, like a common example is, you know, people coming in and they have a goal of losing weight. It's like, why do you want to lose weight? So it's, you know, when people ask themselves why they want to lose weight, and keep asking why, it's going to maybe on the third or fourth answer that you're getting down to, like, you know, the real reasons and like what their real goals are, and like what really like will make them happy.
And if your goal is weight loss, and weight loss is going to make you a happier person, then brilliant. But a lot of the time, you know, it's something you're trying to achieve, you know, for a different reason. You know, there might be a bigger rooted cause. I mean, Cian often say, like, you know, the counsellors at some stage, and we love that at some, you know, getting that emotional connection with clients and stuff. But it's important for you to be so honest with yourself, and it's very scary, but, you know, when you are honest with yourself is where you kind of start really seeing results. It's like, I'm doing this for this reason, because that third or fourth why, as you said, is where the real motivation is.
It's asking yourself what the motivators are. So, like, you know, like, why is it you're trying to achieve this? Is it because of external motivators and maybe like what you think should be your goal is, or is it like internal and, like, you know, what you truly believe your goal should be?
Yeah, I think, and that's when we talk about healthy and happy, the reason we kind of went down this route is because we were discussing that, like, it is different for everybody else. So we're not saying, and we're not trying to push onto anybody, this is how you should be. You know, if you're if you're okay with being overweight and you're genuinely fine with it, and you understand the implications of being more so obese than overweight, but, like, you know, if you understand the health implications, and this is something we touched on, is that, like, losing weight and being healthier doesn't mean you're not going to get any of these diseases, type 2 diabetes, you know, stroke, you know, cardiovascular problems. It doesn't mean you're not going to get them. But what it does mean is that you're going to decrease your chance. Yeah. And our whole mantra is give yourself the best chance to get to 70, to get to 80 with as little health problems as possible. Often people say, like, oh, Ian, you can be hit by a car tomorrow. I'm like, you could, but you could live till you're 90. Would you not want to be able to walk your dog, or, you know, be able to get out and even just walk around the place for as long as you possibly can? Yes, you could. Something tragic could happen. Yes, you could get a disease or one of these diseases, but
yeah, I really disagree with this kind of like idea of, oh, you could die tomorrow.
Yeah,
but, like, you know, there's so much more to life.
Yes,
like,
yes, you could die tomorrow, but it doesn't mean you have to be an absolute, you know, idiot today because of it. Like, you know what I mean? It's not your last day on earth, as far as you know. You know, and if it is, you know, you should be treating it like, I want to be as healthy as possible till then. So, like, if your BMI says 35, 40, or, you know, and you're danger, if you get that down into 20s, you know, mid 25, 26, 27, you're technically classed as, you know, in a healthier weight. All that means is that you've less chance. It doesn't mean you're not going to, but, like, why not give ourselves the best chance possible?
Decreasing the possibility.
Yeah. It's the same when you come to training. You know, people will train, but why are you training? Like, you know, you've asked people why you're training, and the majority of people are training for weight loss. And, you know, coming to our gym, that's probably why 95% of the people come to our gym.
It's why people start training.
That's a great point, because like, I think when I'm from talking to clients now, the majority of people are like, it's their head that they're seeing the benefits.
So,
like, even people who might have come for weight loss is like, oh my god, my head is in such a better place. My family are benefiting from it, you know, coming and training. So, like, utilising training for what it really is. Training shouldn't be a weight loss tool.
Well, exercise for the right reasons. Like, so I suppose what we believe, the reasons you should be exercising or training for will be kind of like, you know, increasing muscle mass, getting stronger, getting fitter, increasing cardiovascular fitness, you know, for your head, for your mindset, for relieving stress, you know, all massive beneficial things. But, like, don't exercise for weight loss, because it's like a highly inefficient way of achieving your goal. Like, that's just going to come down to energy balance.
So we'll be touching more in the next few episodes, you know, and, like, I suppose what we believe is like, you know, we do believe there are a lot of pillars there that are, you know, all really, really important. And we believe like if one pillar isn't working for you, then it creates a domino effect. And it's important to understand and figure out what that pillar is for you. So everyone has, you know, different ideas, but for us, I think like you know, our pillars are, you know,
definitely nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, mindset and mental health, purpose, and relationships. But like it's important to understand that they're not in any particular order.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's going to be completely different from individual to individual. The most important one right there is whatever you can identify as the one that needs the most amount of work in your life.
and that is really important. Like to first ask those questions to yourself, like where am I struggling in my life right now? You know, and we will always just jump on. And this coming from a gym point of view, you think we'd be just selling like come to the gym and it's nutrition and it's exercise, it's nothing else. But unfortunately, it is more than that. So if you're I say to people before, like if you're going through a stressful period in your life, it's not necessarily a good time to be dieting. Like, so people might go like, oh, you know, the weight's not coming down, but like, you know, there's issues going on that have you massively stressed, whether it's work issues or something else, relationship issues. It's like, okay, no, it's not the time to focus, add another stress
Like
here of dieting.
you're stressed and then adding in another stress.
And it's important to recognise, like, if you're in a good place and everything's great, then let's go on a diet phase here, let's try to lose some weight, you know. But like tackling just nutrition when you know the issue is something else is important. Like, you know, our scope of practice is kind of nutrition and training. But I think definitely just more from experience that we've learned how to deal with other situations. We can definitely talk about stress and sleep. We'll have a guest speaker coming in to talk about mental health in a few weeks. So each pillar is so important, but it's about you asking the questions. Like, go through each of those. Like, so if you go through your nutrition, how's your nutrition? Is your nutrition good? Do you know, are you happy with your nutrition? Are you happy with your weight? Exercise, are you exercising regularly? Why, if you're not, then why not? Is it because you don't want that? If you're exercising now, you're like, can I maintain this rate of exercise?
Exactly, yeah.
Are you sleeping well? A big thing we've learned on sleep is that, like, you know, the whole 8 hours thing, that's, you know, it's what you need. How many hours of sleep do you need? You know, I can survive on 6 hours of sleep perfectly fine. I think I'm okay on 6 hours of sleep. For some people, it might need 8 or 9 hours. It's figuring out, you know, watch your sleep. What are your stress levels like? Do you have good relationships in your life? You know, do you have a sense of purpose? I think this is something me and Cian always kind of talk back and forth about. Like, purpose is like, you know, are you working towards something? Do you have a vision? Do you have a vision, a reason? Your vision could be your family. Your vision could be anything at all. It doesn't have to be necessarily. I think, like, you know, I'm very kind of like, my vision is this. It's you know, helping people, talking to people like you, being career orientated. You know, really trying to drive, you know, ATP fitness, and that's giving me my purpose. But for someone else, it could be something completely different. Yeah. But I do believe
again, like, your vision can change every few months.
That's something we really learned as well. Like, you know, we had a mentor that helped us. Like, you know, and he made us force us to do a vision. We were kind of scared having to call him every month. We were like,
it's not an enjoyable thing to do at the start.
No, it's really not, and it's really tough.
Important to understand that as well.
Yeah.
So, like, we found it hard.
Yeah.
At the start, but definitely if you can make it a routine and a habit, it's massively beneficial.
Massively beneficial, yeah. So I think, like, you know, the areas we're going to touch on. But I think we kind of went through a few things there. But the big thing for us today is, like, and each of our podcasts, we're going to try and give you a bit of a challenge or a bit of a homework to do. And this week for our first podcast, what we want you to do is, like, take some time and really do it is write down what happy and healthy is to you. Be open and honest about it, and try and be as specific as possible, because when you do that, that's where you're going to really see some things happen. You start kind of making steps and making choices to kind of improve your life. You know?
Yeah, we'd love to get some feedback from you as well, guys. So any questions you have at all regarding anything that you want us to talk about, or that you feel like you need a bit of help with, just send them through to us.
Yeah, so just make sure. So we're going to have podcast up and running. We're going to be doing one maybe every 2 weeks up until Christmas. Just make sure, so a little bit of a competition for you. So we're going to offer you a chance to win our ATP weekend survival guide, which has, like, your alcohol, calories, how to get through the weekend, you know, still enjoy yourself. Has some of your takeaways, you know, calories, all that kind of stuff, something to be aware of. And we also have, like, a recipe book which has like 30 recipes that comes out each month. So we're going to get an opportunity to win a weekend survival guide and one of our recipe books. So all you have to do is use the hashtag ATPFitPodcast and share our podcast tagging ATP. So that's hashtag ATPFitPodcast, tag ATP Fitness Cork, and you've been a chance to win in that competition. So thanks, guys. That's our first one done. Went all right. We think we'll listen back and find out. So thanks, and stay tuned. We're really looking forward to keeping it going.